They've drawn 2.3 million viewers on Fox, 1.4 on FS1. Good news, bad news.
That's pretty good
That's good.
numbers. I
In
mean,
2 games,
yeah.
that's it.
I mean, they're pulling wrestling numbers are pulling that. WWE wrestling numbers. That's
So what is it? Wait, you said it on Fox and FS1 that doesn't even take into
4.4.
consideration ABC, ESPN.
Right.
So and more people know ESPN than they do Fox and Fox Sports. So I can only imagine what the games pull on ABC
Had I
and
not
ESPN.
forgot that Houston was playing, I would have watched that game. I seen them advertise it, and I meant to watch it, and I'm wondering if that was Monday night because of the race.
It was Sunday night.
It was Sunday
night. Yeah, and what I like about it too is because they do have games on Sunday nights. You know, a lot of people are used to going to sports bars, watching the Sunday night football game. Why not? I know that's what I did. I went to a sports bar. They didn't have it on, but I asked, and they had said, well, somebody else had asked about it. So I was like, well, we need to put it on, okay? Like, it's a football game. I'm not going to sit here and watch a rerun of last week's golf tournament while I'm eating, at a sports bar.
It's good. It's very, very fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, and it's not too gimmicky. You know what I'm saying? They did actually finally use the double pass. The double forward pass.
I didn't see it. Did they?
It was really good. And of
Surprised
course,
more people ain't done it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then Pep Hamilton, head coach for the DC Defenders, they had a substantial lead. Obviously, they blanked the New York Guardians. Guardians didn't score a point, but after a score, Pep Hamilton, it was like one of the last scores of the game. He said, "Well, we're going to try a 3-point conversion here." And basically, when they came to the sidelines, they asked him why did he do it, and he said, "Well, why not? We were in a perfect opportunity. We really don't have anything to lose." So imagine, I want you to think about that. A 10-point game can be nullified in an instant.
Right. That's the great thing about those extra points.
Yeah.
This is the exact play that we said would happen with the double forward pass.
Yeah.
It's the exact. We even we diagrammed this play as soon as they said exactly what's going to happen.
They watched our show, and
it's going to be the forward. Well, we've seen these high school teams run this play over and over the last few years, so I know exactly what this was about to be.
Little pop play, and then look backwards, forwards.
Is that Haskins?
No, it's Cardale.
Same thing.
Both Ohio State quarterbacks. Did you see Cardale though when he fumbled the football and made something out of nothing?
Yes, I did.
That was fun.
I think I saw that.
That was really fun. But I'll stick, with what I said Monday about DC and the XFL. If you're trying to get into the XFL, I think DC is probably the best team for you to sit down and watch because DC their makeup is the Kansas City Chiefs of the XFL. Take it with a grain of salt. Please take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying the DC Defenders can go out here and compete with the Kansas City Chiefs in their respective leagues. DC has trouble running the ball. What does Kansas City have? They had trouble running the ball. DC's defense is good enough to shut somebody out. Kansas City's defense came alive later in the year and helped them win a Super Bowl. And their offense, they got quarterbacks. They got probably the biggest arms in the league and can move out of the pocket if necessary. So they're the same team makeup, just two different leagues. I think they're fun to watch. Houston is really fun to watch. If you have not watched P.J. Walker play, he's another one of those guys where it speaks to why I am so behind the XFL. It gives guys like that didn't get an opportunity at the NFL level to go out and show you and say, hey, I can still play football at a high level. I think it's wonderful. And I'm one that's like, it's okay. I'm not mad that they're not making a butt ton of money. Sometimes I see these guys fight for more and more money on their contracts, and I'm like, dude, you're already making 3 to 4 times what somebody will make in their lifetime. Yeah. So it's like you're going to go out here and play football for anywhere between, base salary was 27, but let's just say they get all of their all of the contracts. It's $50,000. So you get $50,000, go out and play football. That's great.
Well, Hunter, there's your power rankings.
Yes, there were the power rankings.
Number 1, the Houston Roughnecks. 2, the DC Defenders. 3, St. Louis Battlehawks. 4, Dallas Renegades. 5, New York Guardians. 6, Seattle Dragons. 7, LA Wildcats. And 8, your Tampa Bay Vipers.
Vipers would trash.
They would be 8th too on the uniform contest.
They are garbage. And did I tell you, Zach, about how they came out with odds out of Las Vegas. They based you could bet on the over/under how many wins the team is going to have on the season, and the Vipers opened up with like 7.5. They were the highest wins, and look at them.
They're horrible.
0-2.
They are horrible.
They are bad.
Houston is a fun team to watch.
Houston and DC, and I think it's, everybody wants to say, early predictions, whatnot, but they both play in their different part of the division.
Here's
They
your
do
play,
have it.
Hunter,
Yeah.
that you wanted to see.
Here.
Cardale's.
Whoop.
There you go.
There it is.
Nice little play.
Did Zach get to see the double forward pass?
I did not.
But it was literally just.
We've seen this in high school around here quite a bit.
Oh no!
I'm just glad they don't have the knee down.
Was
rule.
he not? Oh,
Yeah.
so okay. Because
Yeah,
I said,
no,
would
he
he
was
not be
good.
considered down? So
No,
Thank God they do the
He was-
NFL.
Because that would have been
way.
that would have been
that
a
would
sack.
have been a
Right.
sack in college. Oh,
College or high
absolutely,
school, yeah.
absolutely. The double forward pass. Yeah, me and Kevin did talk about this whenever we first saw that it could be implemented. It's a
We
little-
knew this is what was going to happen. Zach, you've seen Burns run this quite a bit. It's considered a pass play.
It's
And
a
this
little
is the
pop
first thing we
pass.
thought. Well, whenever they did, it's the jet sweep pass.
Because
That's
there's
a pass.
Forward pass. There's your backwards pass, and here's your forward pass again.
So that was 2 forward passes technically.
Just like a jet sweep flea flicker.
Right.
Jet sweep, flea flicker. That's
what it was.
exactly right. Well, they don't call that a jet sweep though, because it's still considered like a handoff behind it. That's like they call those little pop passes. So it's like a pop pass flea flicker.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Hey,
I
I
like
mean, it opens. If you're an offensive coordinator and you really want to be creative, why would you not?
Oh,
you know,
you could have some fun.
Exactly.
Seems like fun.
you could use the bubble screen the same exact way. Go ahead and have your 3 wide receivers out here on the side, 2 wide receivers in the front, the wide receiver in the back who's going to catch the bubble screen, and then have your running back run over there, or a backup quarterback run over there and get the flea flicker and throw it downfield to the guy that was like a tight end or something. You could be so creative with it. I love the idea about it. It makes football fresh, brings kind of a freshness to it. You're going to probably go out here and see something you probably haven't seen before, and that sure was one of them.
Do you think the NFL, is there anything they're going to maybe have to adjust or
I think
try
they're
to
going to
adjust?
have. I think they're going to have to adjust the kickoff
Think so?
because there's what used to have excitement
It's
has
dead.
none anymore. There's none anymore, and I think the way they do it now, I understand where the safety aspect was from it, from the NFL side. I think this is a lot safer too, because it's not just guys getting up to full speed and slamming
when
into
he's
each
trying
other.
to catch the ball.
Exactly.
So it gives him a chance to catch the ball,
He catches
and
the
then they make
ball.
the move.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
it.
and same thing with blockers and defenders running full speed, just trying to get at each other. They literally are lined up just 10 yards from each other, and you just have to go and block, and they're trying to get past the blockers. I like it. I like
The
it a lot.
special teams coaches that figure those out is going to be those are going to be the teams going to end up winning some, maybe upset somebody in a playoff or something like that.
Yeah.
Here's your ratings numbers. Week 2 NFL, week 2 ratings for AAF
Yeah, that was the one that tried and
was
failed.
1,400,000 on their 3 games. The average for XFL was 2.25 million. So doubling up the TNT viewership and NFL Network, they're almost 6 times more.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
It's impressive, and I think what really helps too is the XFL has done a great job of marketing itself. When the AAF came around, it was kind of just out of nowhere. We've known about the XFL for months. They've even gone on like major networks, major shows like maybe First Take and all that, and Oliver Luck goes on Colin Cowherd's show and he actively talks about it. They're trying to build interest. The AAF was just like 2 weeks prior, they were like, "Oh, and there's a football game this weekend." I was like, "What?"
Well, Zach, the Seattle team brought in 29,000 fans this weekend.
It was a nice looking stadium.
The Chargers averaged 31,000 this year in their temporary stadium.
They were showing the different on the game. They were showing the different stadiums they was going to play in, how many people they could put in there. Seattle was one of the bigger stadiums they was going to play in.
Right.
The whole bottom level was completely full.
Right.
It was the top level, and it'd be kind of like going to a wrestling event where it's blacked out. And I think that's basically what unless they get more people buying, but nobody was sitting at the top. It was nice to see that there was a lot of people there, and they were suited up. Like these people had on some awesome. It looked like the Raiders stuff they was wearing, so they were behind. Seattle fans are big time big time fans anyway.
That's what's so crazy. Think about, they draw a crowd for football, the NFL. They draw a crowd for their MLS team, right? Seattle. Then they draw a 30,000 crowd for their XFL team, and the NBA said we don't want to be there.
That's one of the, not to get off on a side thing. I hate they ever left Seattle.
The Supersonics.
I love the Supersonics.
I
Man.
know, right?
I mean, God, Gary Payton and
I
Sean
just want you to think about that. An XFL crowd drew 30,000 in their first
He didn't
home
want-
game,
they're
and the
in a-
NBA was afraid that nobody would just.
The NBA
nobody would
owner didn't
show
Well,
up.
the
be there.
Hornets' capacity right now is like what, 19,000, and they don't even
Oh,
fill
they had,
that. They
yeah,
don't
no,
fill
no,
that
yeah,
up.
yeah. And they said that's what they said the other day. It was like when me and Tom were there, they were like sold out. Where? That's what it said on the piece of paper. Sold out. I'm like, where?
Yeah.
I could move and sit anywhere. Where?
That's how these teams do. Is attendance is totally different than
Yeah.
than the actual
Butts and
sales.
seats.
Yeah, I showed Hunter, and of course Terry doesn't think that people are going to come to these games. So I had to try to prove to him the other day, and he's like, people aren't gonna come to this, and instead go to NFL games. And I'm like, well, if an NFL game cost my family $500 to go to,
Yeah.
and the XFL game cost $100 for 4 people to go to, I mean, what do you do?
And not only that, it was what I've tried to ingrain like into his brain is
That's
that
horrible.
they don't even happen at the same time. The XFL is not happening while the NFL is happening. It's like, well, who's going to go to this game? Well, what else do we have to go to right now besides a regular season NBA game where if there was the XFL team in Charlotte, I'd much rather go and see them try and win than go and watch Charlotte be down 16-2 at the end of the first quarter.
Zach, that's
That was
Seahawks
at the Chargers.
and Chargers.
That was probably in L.A.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what's at.
because they played at a soccer stadium while their new mega stadium is being built, and they think they're going to fill that sucker up.
For the folks watching online, showing Zach some empty NFL stadiums. There's Week 14, Jacksonville. Look at this in Jacksonville.
Wow.
I mean, people say,
That's
"Is that before the
horrible.
game?" No, look on
They're
the field.
on the field.
They're playing. That is Jacksonville.
Wow.
And you know they're having 3 games in London this year now for Jacksonville, or 2 home games.
Mhm.
They're officially counting 2 home games now because they make more money in London, which I've been warning Terry and everybody else. You guys better watch out for London. It's one of the largest cities in the
They're
world.
going to get an NFL
They're
team.
going to.
That's what I was thinking.
And it's not. And look at Jacksonville, and they fill up Wembley Stadium over there for the Jaguars.
It's going. They'll be getting out. They'll be
Look,
leaving.
Hey, man, Minshew Mania is about to take over again in Jacksonville.
Have the stadiums, NBA started downsizing a little bit. Baseball maybe a little bit. Have they reached a point where they've tried to put? Baseball did it a long time ago. But Bush was downsized by 20,000 seats. Are these stadiums too big? Like Carolina's, is it too big? Should it be more homely? Like smaller, like Seattle's field, instead of the big bowl. The Carolina built a classic a bowl shaped stadium, and you sit there and look at Jacksonville. They've got swimming pool over there, and you can't get people to come.
I just want
Look
you
at
to
those
think about this. College stadiums fill up more than that.
Oh yeah.
Every weekend. Even a bad South Carolina Gamecocks team will have more in their attendance than these football games.
There's the Bengals and 49ers. Look at the
even-
middle section.
Don't even
That middle section is where the high-priced tickets are. See, the lower section, you can get, they're high-priced, but they're not as high-priced as that middle section. And there is nobody in that middle part
Man.
there.
That's awesome.
And then XFL will fill up the lower parts of the stadium. I mean, there's a Cleveland Browns one. Look at that kick. They're kicking off. Nobody there almost. And that's Cleveland. They're rabid for their football team. So, yeah, and like Hunter and myself have been saying over and over that, you can't
I wonder if that was
that
just
is
recent.
it is.
That's good.
You can't they're not competing with the NFL.
No,
straight up.
they're not.
That's not the point of
They're
it.
not.
I want them to see them. I just can't wait till Vince or somebody walks in and gets one of these, number 1 recruits from college, and that's when you'll see Nick Saban and them lose their minds. All right. Any other news and notes on that before we talk a little Daytona 500?
On the XFL, only note I say is the same note I always say whenever we're talking about it or getting ready to be done talking about it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's it's sports. If you like football, just watch It's football. Literally, there's
Right.
nothing different besides a few rule changes. It's not like the old XFL. It's not gimmicky. It's not wrestlers out there, trying to play football. And these are legit football players that could play at the